Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here, and we got a list of 12 properties. It's a nice flow at this end of August where we're seeing about 10 to 12 a day. We can really get into some details, and there's some good ones in this list. So we're going to start off with 1360 Main Street, number 311. 3099 is the price. It is just over 1,000 square feet. It's called a Windsor model. Pretty classic floor plan. You've got good looking floors here. The photos really bring out the nice rich color in this home. So I do appreciate what they did. The master bedroom's a nice size, and then you've got your 2 washrooms there too. So even if somebody had a roommate at this price with a second full bedroom plus a full washroom, it can work out really well. So it just gives you more flexibility than a 2-bedroom with only 1 washroom. Price seems pretty much in line with what they've sold for. You're about $300 a square foot for most of the condos in Milton. And so we've got 1380 cost again. It doesn't have the unit number here. It says unit 45, so I assume that's where it is, but it normally is listed right here. 329 is the price, end unit. Pretty much in line with what they've sold for. You've got a main floor with living dining, although most of the ones that have sold for up in the 320 range, the end units, they've had the hardwood floor. So I could definitely see somebody walking in and saying, yes, I want upgraded floors here. Probably would have been a good return on investment thing for the sellers to do in this house. You've got 2 bedrooms upstairs, so not 3. There's another bedroom there that I guess they're just using as a sitting area. And then you have 2 full washrooms upstairs. Again, good potentially for roommates on something like this. There's usually 1 car parking. They can buy extra parking spots. And so this actually, what they did here, it says extra parking included. So I don't know if it's $15,000. I mean, that's a little bit high of value, but it is certainly a value added thing. I think they bought it from the builder for somewhere between 5 and 10, which is more of what it would indicate. So maybe you don't have hardwood, but you've got the extra parking space. Seems like it's sort of in line. It might be a little on the high side. Then you've got something like this on Main Street, so 335. But what you'll notice is compare this one to the one that we talked about on Main Street. This one's around the same size, and the maintenance fees are $94 compared to a few $100s in Maple. The price is $30,000 more, but you'd find that this one and the Maple Crossing one would be remarkably similar in terms of carrying costs out of your pocket. So it's not always the prudent thing to just look at the price of the home. You look at the total cost involved with buying something like this. Both of them you'd have to pay your utilities on top of. But it's got some good upgrades in here too. You've got a newer building. I had clients who said to me, Chuck, is that a retirement building? Because there's a lot of downsizers that bought in this building, sold their house, moved into the Green Life building. And it's a pretty quiet building. The big draw is definitely the eco-friendly low condo fees, because really it just keeps your costs low and manageable. And the other nice thing is that you're nice and close to downtown too. So in terms of this one versus Maple Crossing, Maple's a little closer to the highway, but this one you get a lot more access to some of the fun stuff downtown, restaurants, farmers market, and so on. So I'd give this one the edge, even though it's a little higher on price. I just think head to head it actually would be a better long-term investment. Andrews Trail's 368, and so it's just a long narrow room, and then you've got your kitchen with the eat-in. My experience, the kitchen actually feels a little bit bigger than it's showing in this picture in person. And it's got a finished basement. The builder finished this basement. And the reason this angle is being taken is because the other angle shows that it backs onto Thompson. So you're going to hear the road noise. But I do like the price point on this one here. There's only 1 full bathroom upstairs, but this is a price point where there's almost nothing for sale now with a backyard. Now, yard with some noise for some people is better than no yard at all. We have Edwards at $379. It's a Croft side. This is actually a very competitive price for a Croft side. The bonus is you have a finished basement. And what I'd say to you is that this could be a potential hidden gem, because you've even got some upgraded floors here, some hardwood floors. Looks like it's on the diagonal. But the photos are brutal. They're horrible. And so some buyers will actually skip past this listing because, excuse me, because they don't like the photos. But I really believe that this one is very aggressively priced, and it represents good value. So if this one's in anywhere near half decent shape, it is a steal. The all brick elevation on the outside. Edwards is a pretty quiet street. You've got access to the splash pad. There's some great schools in that district. Amazing stuff. So I wonder how much bad photos would cost a seller, and I definitely think that if somebody walks in and like I said, if it's even remotely close to okay, scoop it up fast. Okay, so Chutch Match is 434. It's 1873 square feet, and nice finishes inside. So this front room, if you don't have a purpose for it, it can kind of be wasted space, but it can be used as a home office or a sitting room or a kid's playroom or any number of things. Then you get into the main living area, so you can see that room, and then you've got your staircase, your entrance is over here. Get into the main room, and then you've got your kitchen. That's the upgraded kitchen, the chef's kitchen. It eliminates or it reduces the possibility of having a larger eat-in area, but you've got your breakfast bar, and I think it's much more functional for a lot of people. A bit of work in the backyard, and it's on what I call the safe side of Chutch Match, because the south side is going to be eventually backing onto a plaza, whereas the north side you could see in the backyard photos that it backed onto other homes. We saw a couple on Higginbotham facing the busier street that sold in the 430s recently with nice finishes. So at 434, I think they're in the game for sure. I think they're better value than this one on Costigan at 448.9. Even though this one on Costigan is a little bit bigger, it's 19 feet across. You figure the garage is 10 feet, so you don't really have a lot of space in here. It feels, I call this the bowling alley, is that it feels very long and narrow. So this room plus another room, a wider home always feels more natural for people. This, like, where do you put the TV, right? Like, there's not really an option to have L-shaped kind of couches. Everything is facing one direction, and they're nice finishes. There's nothing wrong with the finishes. I just think that if you walked into this one and then you walked into Chutch Match or Chooch Match, I don't know how to say it, you're going to see that there's a noticeable difference. Both of them are 3 bedrooms. Costigan even has a little bit more traffic than something like Chutch Match. So that one wins out for sure. We've got Bowering Crescent at 464.9, and so it's a 1,500 square foot home. You might be able to do 2 cars side by side in something like this. Nice front porch. It looks like they've even done tiles on the front porch. When you see those elective upgrades, something like interlock driveway, I was talking about this last night, is that you can probably guess that the home is going to be in pretty good shape, because it's just not something that most people have to do. They do it because they want to, because they take some pride in the home. So you've got some hardwood floors in the front dining room, and then completely separate from that is the kitchen and family room. There's a little nook over here. So it just helps to kind of put the TV in a little bit, as opposed to having a flat wall there. It allows a little bit more space for furniture. There's the kitchen. I think that the wall color complements the countertop. And this is another thing. If these were white walls, you might say, well, I'm not sure about that counter. But because it all fits together, it works very well. So a lot of furniture in the master bedroom. It might actually make it appear smaller than it is. The same models for sale over on Bennett around the corner. This is a better location. Nice quiet crescent. And it's a little bit more expensive. The one on Bennett has a finished basement, but it's a little bit rough. Okay, so this one looks like it's kept far better, and the street is very nice to live on. Azleton is 519, and so this looks like a Plan 1, so 1638 square feet, hardwood floors, good looking kitchen here, upgraded counters, the dark hardwood stairs, upgraded counters in the bathroom. So there was a really nice one that sold at $480 a couple months ago, so they're certainly battling some of the recent sales. There were a couple of the smaller double garages that really didn't sell for as much as I thought they would. So there's not a lot for sale right now. I think they're probably, like, even comparing to the one that we have on Cahoon, they might be a little on the high side, but they are nice. And so you look at something like, you've got to put air conditioning in, you got to put fencing in. There's other hidden costs with this one too that could drive that price even higher. So for that reason, I don't know if I would personally go anywhere near a $519 price. Eden Place is 524.9. Again, potential 2-car parking, the driveway side by side. It's about 1,900 square feet. Good quiet street. You have to be careful on Eden because you can be a little close to Derry or a little close to James Snow. But if you're in the middle section right on the curve, you're usually doing okay. And I believe that's where this one is. Good wood trim work here. Hardwood floors, nice upgraded kitchen. I mean, it's all put together well. 524 usually is the realm for these homes, of the homes that are more than 2,000 square feet. It has a finished basement. There's an outside chance they can get this. The move-in ready always commands a premium. And then we've got Talk Close, and it's 634.9. It is Plan 12, which is basically the same as a Wood Lily. And you've got your staggered garage. It doesn't look like there's a sidewalk here, so you actually do have, 2 cars in the driveway and 2 in the garage. If a sidewalk goes through this one, typically you don't have a space in front of this garage. Some people don't like the looks of this. The advantage of moving the garage forward is that it opens the floor plan up. We've talked about that many times. The upgrades are good, but they're not crazy, like going off, off the deep end, I suppose. No granite, but you've got darker cabinet stainless steel. The biggest advantage with this one is that you can see the lovely green space behind, and then you've also got a walkout basement, which is outstanding for finishing. It's even good for people who potentially might have relatives staying with them one day. So the walkout can form a nice little separate living space, and if they don't use it for that, it still works well because there's a lot of natural light that comes in through the walkout, and plus some of the accessory windows beside the sliding doors. So I like this one. I think it's priced in a pretty good range. We've seen even a few of these ones, one on a pie-shaped lot that was beautiful, sell all the way up into the 670 range. So I think they've got a good home here. I think there's some unique features you're having a tough time finding anywhere else. It's a little under 2,600 square feet. And then the last one is Leargate. It's between 2,800 and 2,900 square feet. $699 is the price. It's got a really nice kitchen layout. It actually is laid out like a home that's more than 3,000 square feet in the kitchen. Being at $699 is a smart choice. I think they'd have a tough time over 7. There's some big hitters just over 7. So we'll see what happens. It's a little smaller than some of the competitors in the higher 6s that are even over 3,000 square feet. Nice looking home. We'll see what happens there. So that's the list for today. If you have any questions, give us a call, and we definitely love to get you out to see some homes on something like a tour where you can actually start to learn what kind of homes your price range offers you. The internet research will get you only so far. You've got to do the legwork to really see what's out there. And even for us, we review this stuff online, but it can be drastically different in person. So it's really just about the experience of tangibly seeing what's out there. That's all I've got to say about that. So have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.